All right. Yes, it's California, and I'm from California. But we have two beers from this brewery. It's called Sierra Nevada. That's fun.
I don't like their pale ale.
Well, you know, the pale ale is like one of my default beers when I go to a place and all they've got is a bunch of national brands. It's like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. But they come out with a couple of beers during the year. One is a special IPA called Celebration, and another one is a barley wine called Pake. Alright, and that is a massive beer. Best if you buy it and save it for a little while. But now, as far as the Celebration is concerned, that's going to be going with the shrimp pasta dish this next. Now, how many of you like hoppy beers?
Not. It's way too hoppy.
Okay.
Pale ale
now,
is too hoppy.
Hops is one of those things that's like
bitter.
Grateful Dead. You either love them or you hate them. All right. The Celebration is an IPA, and IPAs are India Pale Ales. And basically, that comes from back when the Brits were imperialistic, and they were over in India.
They're trying to
and
fix
after
the water.
a hard day of whipping the bloody wogs, they wanted their pint. All right. But now they couldn't get their pint because every time somebody sent over a cask of beer on the ship, 2.5 months later when it got there, the beer was bad.
I'm surprised it got there.
Then, yeah, most of the time they say, oh, it's going to go bad anyway, that's why they drink it. However, an enterprising young brewer knew that hops are not only a natural antibacterial, but they are also a natural preservative. So they decided, let's make a beer, but we don't let it finish, all right, at the brewery. We put it in the cask unfinished. Casks were wooden and they breathe. All right, so it would continue to ferment in the cask. But in order to make sure that it got there, we're just going to shove a lot of hops into it, and a lot of hops. All right, and the natural preservative qualities of the hops allowed this beer to last the journey all the way to India. All right, and when it got to East India Company, they called it an Indian Pale Ale. All right, so that's why IPAs came about. Now, Celebration is an American version of this traditional IPA. And it's right about 62 IBU. Now, 62 IBU, for some of you guys that drink Dogfish Head, all right, like, yeah, right, 90 and 120 minute, seems pretty low. But it's all about the balance, all right? Before we used hops, historically, about 500 years ago, is when we first started using hops. People used everything to try to balance that sort of residual sweetness, because you know what beer is? It's the malt converted to sugars that are fermentable by Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Saccharomyces cerevisiae will either die off when there's too much alcohol, or will not eat the sugars that are non-fermentable. All right? These non-fermentable sugars leave a very sweet beer, and unless you try to use something to balance that sweetness, it's going to be cloyingly sweet and, you know, maybe disgusting. That's why a lot of times, historically, thousands of years ago, a lot of beer was referred to as wine, because of its sweetness. All right?
Mead.
All right, mead, honey wine.
Honey wine.
Or tej in South Africa. Now, when hops came around 500 years ago, it instantly improved